Todd Jones, what's up, buddy?
How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you? How's it going?
I'm doing great. I'm just kicking it. It's Sunday, having a nice day out here. Enjoyed watching Kurt and James talk.
Yeah, man, James's story is wild.
Yeah, man, soul crushing, man.
I'm excited. I was happy that he was like able to share some of that stuff. I know it's very sensitive with teachers in school, and I
The
feel like it
thing
took a
about the
while.
kid like putting a Craigslist ad, like, man, that's
It
tough.
sucks. Yeah, I would hate to be a parent in a scenario like that. And it's funny, we don't have children, and when people ask me why, I point to things in the world like this, So, but anyway, moving forward, Todd Jones, frontman and Nails, ex Terror, man doesn't need much of an introduction. One of the coolest bands that's come out in the DB grind, death metal, power violent, whatever you want to call it,
Thank you.
in the past years. Um,
Nice.
and recently, you started a podcast actually too. I'm curious
Yeah,
if
I did.
how's that going? Because I guess that's what's happening right now, being that bands are pretty inactive at the moment.
Yeah, I did. I had the idea for a couple of years to do a podcast where I just called people up and just talked to them about their process and what they do and how they do the things that they do. I had you on it, and that was one of my favorite talks so far. I just thought it would be interesting. I'm a fan of music. I consider myself a fan before I consider myself like a musician. And I'm a fan of so many different things. I'm a fan of so many different styles within the punk rock like realm. And I said, fuck it. I mean, as a guy in a band who gets interviewed by press people, I get tired of the same questions over and over again. So I was like, well, maybe I'll put myself in a position where I'm the person asking the questions, and I'll ask the questions that I want to hear more so. You know what I mean? And I hope that has value to people who I just hope people dig it. If there's a lot of podcasts out there, so I understand a lot of it not enough time in the day to listen to all the content that you come across. So it's just been a lot of fun. I like it quite a lot of bit. One of the things that it's helped me along with that I've had a hard time with throughout since I got into music was the technicalities of recording, like even just recording my voice. Like I learned more about that stuff, and it's helped just give you more confidence. Like when I'm at home making my own demos or whatever. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, that's honestly, I really enjoyed our talk on that. And you can tell that you approach these interviews as a fan and do the research. And I don't know if it's reflective on press or media in the world today outside of music, but it was very refreshing for me to have a conversation with you on that thing and be like, wow, this person actually knows what he's talking about. He's done his homework. You can speak on the correct issues. Not as just as a parallel to what's going on right now. When I watch news and I hear these clearly biased opinions with little merit, with little research and background, or you see these posts online, it's genuine people and honest people and people who actually put thought into things that I, really tend to gravitate towards nowadays. So I do really appreciate that you took the time to like do the homework for that thing. And the interviews I've heard so far have been awesome. Who else have you? I mean, I know you had Dylan from Full of Hell on it, right?
Dylan was awesome. That was my first one, so I was kind of learning the ropes. I feel like maybe I stepped on him a little bit when I was talking. So I did him. I did Arthur. Arthur Rizek, engineer and guitar player, producer, did the Power Trip records, a bunch of great stuff. And a phenomenal guitar player and songwriter. Did Nikki from Nothing.
Awesome.
That was fucking awesome. See Riley from Sound and Fury Festival. I did Yourself. Tomorrow I'm putting up an episode with one of my favorite death metal guitar players. His name is Shelby Lermo, and he plays in two bands that I would strongly suggest folks checking out. One is called Ulthar, and they just released a new album called Providence yesterday. It's like death metal, but I guess I would say it's more in like the progressive thing. It's really fucking good.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to check that out. My bass player is a fan of that band too. Actually, that one's on my radar.
Yeah, hell yeah. And then his other band's Vastum. It's a little bit more like straight ignorant death metal. check both those out. But yeah, just talking to anybody. I'll talk to punk people, metal people, hardcore people, whoever. I'm just having a good time. Like I said, I like a lot of that stuff. So
yeah, no, it's cool. I mean, it was a cool, refreshing conversation. So, so a little bit about like Nails, because I'm obviously a big fan of the band. I'm a huge Unsilent Death guy, and digging into like some of your writing and stuff, because I do like to poke around with singers that I like and see what they're all about and stuff. I get a lot of like very anti-establishment, like anti-conformist stuff, and there's a lot of like personal betrayal in your writing, where I can feel that this is a reaction to something. Like when you're writing lyrics, are you drawing from, are these personal experiences that you're speaking on? Are you looking at society for cues? Like where does the common inspiration come from? Like when you sit down to like put Nails music together?
for Unsilent Death, every single song about that is like from from an experience for sure. Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of like an outcasted person in life. Like I don't really feel like I fit in anywhere in this world. And I'm just a fan of music. I try to write lyrics from experiences and whatnot. And, maybe I look at the negative side of things too much, because, a lot of bad shit happens to people, and they get up and they progress and they do things and they keep going. And some people just have negative experience and lay down and die. And I'm probably the second option of that, but I don't know. That's just everything's kind of from personal experience. Like I just take things poorly, probably.
Sure. I mean, I'd say, knowing you personally, I know how what people say about you affects you, and, I've learned to take shit in stride, and I get criticism and stuff, but
I mean, there was definitely a time when I would look at comments and shit. I stopped doing that. Like, I don't like, I think it's natural for people. Like if you're like a young person in a band, or you're an old person in a band, it's like you put something out in the world and it's like you're interested. You're like, what are these people saying about it? Like, how's the world taking this? And so you can get in that mindset where you get like caught up looking in the comments. But that's something I've learned. It's like, dude, that's not reality. Like,
yeah, so talk to me about that. Like what made you switch that? Because honestly, like a lot of people today are want to be outspoken about other things like this movement and, the way where they stand. And it's met with crazy criticism online, and, people arguing with them or bullying them into being quiet. And you've had this parallel experience dealing with releasing music. So it's like, what pushed you through going, fuck these people. Like, I don't care about this anymore.
Yeah,
I think
man,
that's
easily.
something important.
It's easy. It's just every day. Like, does anybody talk to you the way that people talk to you or talk about you online? Do they talk to you like that in person? Doesn't ever happen.
Right.
Ever. Like, nobody ever approaches me and says anything positive or negative for that matter. Nobody, I walk down the street, nobody knows who the fuck I am. So it doesn't matter. Like, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good perspective. And honestly, I've never really thought of that. Like, no one really talks to you. No one in real life is like this, is going to confront you like this. If you can learn to live with social media being the disaster that it can be, and realize that there's more to the world. Like, it's easy to just turn that shit off and then go interact with real people,
Yeah, dude, and this is what everybody says. They says they don't read comments. It's like, dude, I only deal with what's in front of you. Only deal with what's in front of you, because that's real. Like, comments are just comments. They're like, who even knows? If you spend too much time trying to dissect, like, why is this person saying this one thing? It's like, you're just going to drive yourself crazy. It's just fucking, who cares?
Yeah.
I get to play music and have a great time doing it. And that's what I like.
Yeah. I mean, a few years ago, I learned to go, I don't fucking care what anyone thinks anymore. And it was like the most liberating musical experience in my life, Isn't
that such a, because you're like in your mid-30s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm in my late 30s. It's like it's so weird how something like that is like a lesson that you learn like at later in life. But we didn't grow up with social media. Like, social media wasn't a thing until I was like 19 or 20. So
yeah, I think
it's just a new world, learning how to navigate.
I think it takes releasing music and feeling the way you feel about it, and then weathering a storm or two before you realize like what I care about is more important than what the public cares, like what the criticism cares about, and I think we've taken some social stands. Like this is met with so much criticism. I got blasted for doing this. You get blasted for saying certain things or doing things with nails. And at the end of the day, like we just do what the fuck we want anyway, because you believe in yourself and you're true to yourself, and that's all that's all that matters now,
Yeah, man, for sure.
So, all right, I got a couple little quick ones for you. Speed round with you. What is the hardest riff of all time?
Breakdown. What's that fuck white kickback? Breakdown, kickback. It's not about the riff. It's about how the breakdown comes in. It comes in with drums. Nothing behind the drums, no guitars, no bass building up. It's just a tom and a bass drum beat, and it just goes right in. And it's also about what Jeff Perlin is saying in the lyrics. Like I got riffs, man. I don't know. Davidian by Machine Head.
That's a good one. It's a top 10 for me. Mine is To Carry the Load by Crowbar.
Oh yeah. That's off Sonic XS. That's off Oddfellow.
Yeah, it's
a great song.
It's the slow setup to it, and the little tom thing, and when you get it, it's slower when it comes in. They just do it all right. That's just
Oddfellow's Rest, dude. One of the best.
Yeah, and okay, favorite death metal record of all time.
Once Upon the Cross by Deicide.
Oh, okay.
It's the first one I heard when I was a freshman in high school, and me and my cousin Tony went to this dude Alex Burns' house. Rest in peace, Alex Burns. He played us Once Upon the Cross, and it was like, whoa. And even to this day, I just love it. It's just like the driving double bass and the palm muted riffs over the double bass. It's perfect. I love it. Kill the Christian.
That's a good one. I'm a Pierce from Within guy. That was probably my.
Oh, that's so good.
That's my holy grail one. Just all those just wild changes and tempo shit and linear stuff and the hard riffs, and I mean that one fucked me up as a kid. That's mine. Depths of Depravity. Yeah. All right. We could do death metal shit all day, but I got to keep this moving. So I'm gonna announce your giveaway.
Okay.
Win a copy. You Will Never Be One of Us on the brown vinyl. Thank you for kicking this in. I know you don't do politics very much, but I can see that you cared enough about this cause to get on here and support what's going on. So I really do appreciate you taking a minute to chat with us too. And yeah, man, good luck with that podcast. I think if anyone hasn't heard the Unsilent Death podcast yet, it's really interesting. Talks to a lot of really great musicians, and yeah, everything I've heard from it's been awesome. So
thank you. And thanks for having me on this too. I mean, yeah, I do appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I'll catch up with you soon. I'll call you next week.
All right, man.
All right, Todd. Todd Jones from Nails. You can win a copy of You Will Never Be One of Us on an LP on brown vinyl. $10. Donate right now at soundrink.live. Ladies and gentlemen, it is lunchtime for me. I'm going to eat lunch, and I'll be back at 4:00 with Doc Coyle. Very excited to talk to Doc. So hang in there, go get a snack, maybe use the bathroom, maybe make a phone call. We'll do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I'll be out. I'll be back at 4:00. See you later.